Hello. Today's topic is about your temperament as a parent, how it is influencing your parenting choices, how it is influencing your parenting styles, your parenting pattern. Now, this is what we do in PAC, Parenting Accountability Community. We are learning about our temperament so that we can understand our strengths and weaknesses and how they may be jumping in the way of our intentional parenting. We parent with a vision, yes. And for you to get to your destination, your parenting destination, you have to be very intentional. You cannot be intentional without understanding your own temperament and your child's temperament. So today is about your temperament as a parent and all you need to know about it. My name is Enimie Urebo, and for my PAC community, well done. If you are new, if you are seeing me for the first time, thank you for finding me. Do well to subscribe, share, like, and drop your comments. Ask your questions. Feel free to ask your questions. Feel free to ask about PAC because it is a community you certainly want to be. If you're an old subscriber, yay! Well done. Thank you for coming back. It is because of you I'm doing this, and you coming back shows that you are getting value. I do appreciate you. Do well to share and talk to your friends and everyone about what we do here. So today is about your temperament as a parent and how it is influencing your parenting choices. So let's go right into it. Enimie Urebo is my name, and this is Parenting with Enimie Urebo. So earlier today, I saw a post on Facebook, someone asking to know about command schools. Perhaps want to register her child there and trying to seek a second opinion. As I read through the comment, one struck my attention. A parent said, "Oh, the children there, some come back heart-hearted, capable of doing anything, while others come out timid, zero self-esteem." Now, these are two children going to the same school, under the same factors, under the same environment. They may even be relatives, cousins, or even siblings, or even identical twins. Something is responsible for why they do not come out the same way. That's temperament. Now, when I hear parents say, "Oh, we turned out well, our parent did this to us, they did that to us, we turned out well," I always want to let them know that there is a factor, there's a temperament factor in how you are turning out well. Most times, it's not what you are doing to the child, it's how the child is interpreting what you are doing to it. Why some people will get tough, others may get broken. Now, this is why there is no one cap fits all, one size fits all when it comes to parenting. So when people throw random parenting advice, I always say no. Before you take them, understand the child you have, especially from the angle of temperament. That way, you are making sure that this advice that is being thrown, that you are picking, will fit your child. When we talk about things like discipline, when we talk about how to love your child, when we talk about how your child learns, it is no one size fits all. Every child is unique. Now, today we are not talking about children and their temperament, which we'll talk about another time. We are talking about you as a parent, your temperament. Because your temperament has a great role in how you are parenting every single thing you do. Your choices generally is influenced by your temperament. So, and your parenting choices are not excluded. So that is what we are looking at today, your temperament as a parent and how it is coming in the way of your parenting. Each time I'm talking about temperament, I always assume that everyone has a basic knowledge of temperament and everything. And I want to assume that today. However, I just want to give a quick background. Now we have, temperament is how a person is naturally wired. How you are naturally wired to respond to situations. Now, this is why you have two young children. They will not react the same way. You will see a practical example will be two children learning to walk. While one will stand up and while one will fall in an attempt to walk, stand up immediately and keep walking. Another may fall and remain there. Then you hear parents say, "Oh, lazy child," and all of that. It's temperament. Some people are more determined. Some people are more strong-willed. Some people are more persistent. Some people are more persevering than others naturally. I'm sure it's making sense to you. So these temperament traits, they go with us into adulthood. You cannot change a child's temperament. Now, what you can do as a parent is you can help them identify their positive temperament traits and help them and raise and nurture it in such a way that their weaknesses are not taking control of them. Instead, they are blossoming, they are flourishing in their strength. Now, as an intentional parent, you want to pay attention, but we're raised in an era where we may not have been, our parents may not have been so intentional. So our temperament trait is either we're broken or we're just allowed to flourish in our weaknesses, and it is a big factor in how we are parenting. So that's that about background of temperament. Now we have 4 major temperaments. Yes, we have a blend, about 16 mixed temperament, but the 4 major ones are the choleric, the phlegmatic, the sanguine, and the melancholic. Now these are the 4 major temperament that everyone has. Now it's important I let you know that no one is an absolute of one temperament. Just as we talk about learning style, we talk about love language, we talk about discipline, there is no one method that is, oh, this is an absolute method for one child. No, a bit of some, but some are more, should I say, predominant or effective when it comes to an individual. Same applies to temperament. There is nobody is an absolute of one temperament. However, we have one major primary temperament and the others are secondary temperament and all of that. So now our first temperament, which is our primary temperament, is the one that I am going to be looking at today. So as a pack mom, when I send you the temperament list, the temperament sheet for you to track your temperament, you should be able to know your dominant temperament and be able to take action based on your dominant temperament. So now, one of the things I always like to talk about, like remind you if you are new here, is that you should have a parenting vision. In PAC Parenting Accountability Community, we parent with a vision. We have a vision. We have the big picture. We have a destination for our parenting. And we want to make sure that every of our parenting actions, every of our parenting steps align with our parenting vision. Like I always say, I have never seen a parent who doesn't desire to raise great, successful children. However, we still have children who struggle. We still have children who don't win in adulthood. What is the difference? The difference is that even though this parent had a vision or had a desire for their children, they used the wrong template that was not designed for their children. They didn't parent in line with their desire for their children. That is always what is wrong. So it is not luck. I always say it's not luck. No. So what we want to do, or rather what we do in PAC, is to make sure that we have a vision. So we want to make sure that our parenting choices, parenting patterns align with our vision so that we do not miss it. And one of the things that can come in the way is your parenting, your temperament can always come in the way if you are not intentional. Now, this is why it is very important for you to note your temperament as a parent. I explained briefly the 4 types of temperament we have. We have the choleric, the sanguine, the melancholic, and the phlegmatic. And as a parent, you have a vision. So first thing you want to do is to sit back and look at your temperament weaknesses and strengths and ask yourself, which weakness will help me realize my parenting vision? Which weakness will come in the way of my parenting vision? Which strengths will help me achieve my parenting vision? It's time for you to reflect. It may be difficult for you to recreate your temperament. It may be difficult, but it is possible. By being intentional, it is possible. By being in charge of yourself, in control of your emotions, it is possible. By understanding impulse and not be impulsive, it is possible. Now, this is why the very first exercise we carry out in PAC is to help you regulate your emotions so that no matter your temperament, no matter how you were raised, you are always able to pause and think and ask yourself, this thing I want to do, this decision I'm about to take, this choice I'm about to take for my child, is it aligning with my parenting vision? Is it going to help me achieve my parenting vision at the end of the day? Is it just a factor of, am I allowing my temperament to influence what I'm about to do? Now, the first thing we do at PAC is to work on our emotions. You want to join PAC, is a community you definitely want to be part of, and it is a very affordable community where we all learn and grow. So let's talk about the different temperaments and how they may come in the way. Now, the first temperament I want to talk about is the choleric temperament. Now, let's look at the parenting trait of a choleric temperament. Cholerics generally are strong-willed. Now, as a parent, you have the tendency to be authoritarian, which means you are the boss, you lord it over your children, you are a driver, you are goal-oriented, result-oriented. You don't have time to listen. Empathy may not come natural for you. Communication may not come natural for you because you just want to pass your instructions and you want them to what is it called? You want them to do, you just want to say the word and jump, and what you want to hear is how high, or I've jumped, or yes ma. When you are unintentional as a choleric parent, now these are some of your traits, and you are high expectants. You have high expectations, and one of the things about you is that you have the strengths, mental strengths, and you are naturally able to have should I say you are naturally self-motivated, and because of that, you expect everyone. You know, we have a way naturally. We have a way of expecting people to behave, to act the way we act, or the way we would have acted in situations. Unfortunately, it is not like that. People's temperament and nurturing, the way they were nurtured, come in the way. So as a choleric parent, because you have the strength, you are a go-getter, you actually expect that of your children. So you set high expectations. So at the end of the day, if you want to raise highly successful children, you will realize that if you have a strong-willed child like yours too, like your temperament that is strong-willed, you may raise a rebellious child. You are always going to be fighting because your child is also strong-willed. Your child also wants power the way you want power. So your child may not readily listen to you, or rather, even if they listen to you because you have more authority than them at home, you are in charge and everything, they are going to go outside and now start becoming rebellious outside. That is why you see some children, the parents will say, my child does not do this at home. They do it outside because at home they are not giving room to breathe. So when they go outside, they are learning how to boss people around, how to intimidate, how to bully people. They are learning from you, the parents. So when they go outside, they are likely going to do that outside. Then you are disappointed. That is one thing. If you have a strong-willed child, you are going to raise a child who may be rebellious at the end of the day. Secondly, if you have a child who is not so strong-willed, one of the things you want to do is you may end up breaking your child because you do not let them talk. You always want to lord over them. You always want to boss them around. So what you end up doing is raising children with low self-esteem, who cannot talk, who cannot defend themselves. Now, when it comes to peer pressure, you expect them to stand up to their peers. You have not given them the opportunity to learn to stand up because you are the lord of the house. So you want to check your temperament if you are, a choleric parent. Another thing you end up doing is, okay, I just mentioned low self-esteem. You will raise children who do not have self-esteem. And while you are trying to set high standards for them, if you end up setting standards that are too high, you may end up raising children who are not capable, who cannot take initiative, who cannot take decisions for themselves, who are not capable of thinking for themselves, because it's always about you. And then if you are looking at raising leaders, children who thrive in leadership, you have not given them opportunities to learn leadership skills. You have not taught them empathy. You have not taught them how to communicate. You have not deliberately taught them. You have not modeled it to them. So at the end of the day, you realize that your natural traits will come in the way of the child in your big picture. Now, this is why even when many parents have visions, they have desires, they have the good intentions towards their children, it is not actualized. It doesn't come to reality because their temperament come in the way. So if you're a choleric parent, I hope you will sit down and begin to reflect on your weaknesses and know how they are coming in the way and begin to learn how you can do better. You can join us in Parenting Accountability Community. Let's take you through our emotions control class, or you can also get my book, Understanding Your Child, so that you can learn more about your temperament traits, weaknesses, and how they may come in the way. The melancholic. Now, if you're a melancholic parent, chances are that you are a perfectionist and you are very critical. You set high standards. And one of the things about melancholics is that they can nag because they set standards, and because their children are not perfect, they don't realize the children are not perfect. They expect the children to meet their standard. My dad is melancholic, and growing up, I've shared this impact several times. His temperament trait was always in the way. My dad gets back from work, and from the gate, he starts his nagging. Everything was annoying, from the way the house was set, from the way when we're talking, making noise, playing, laughing, TV was on, we're not reading, a lot of drama all the time. I remember now that we used to prefer him traveling. When my dad traveled, it was more of a blessing than having him around, So that's something that happens if you're a melancholic parent. Now, because they hold on to grudges a lot, they are not forgiving. It is not easy for them to love unconditionally, because something happens, your child misbehaved the other time, you still hold it, you repeat it over and over and over again, nag about it, you want to lecture. You are going to slacken the bond between you and your child. You are not going to have time for connection, because the time you're supposed to create for connection, you are busy picking negativity, you are busy picking misbehaviors, you are talking about misbehaviors. So at the end of the day, you are not able to build connection. The choleric parent may not even have time for connection, deliberate connection, because they have the time for major things. They are serious-minded people. So building connection that leads to influence, connection that makes it possible for you to be able to influence your child, for your child to grow up with beautiful memories, may not be there. So you now end up raising children who are empty, who their love tanks are not full or are never full. Then you raise children who go outside to start seeking validation, to start seeking to be loved. Now, one of the factors responsible for it, like I said, is your temperament coming in the way. So what you want to do is to pause and reflect on your temperament. What are your temperament weaknesses? You have strengths. You have strength. Yes, cholerics, they have strength. When you are intentional, yes, you have strength. Melancholic, when you are intentional, you are capable of a whole lot of amazing things. But this video, we are focusing on how your temperament may be influencing negatively your parenting style. The idea, because your strengths are already the positive side, so there's no need to look about them. There's no need to look into them. You just need to celebrate them and celebrate them, yes, because you have them naturally. So there are no big deals today to this class, but your temperament weaknesses are a big deal, because they are the ones that will make you not to realize your parenting vision at the end of the day. They are the one that will jump in the way when you are thinking, oh, I am parenting my child, I have a plan for my child, I have a vision, I want this and that for my child. Your temperament will come in the way. That is what we are looking at. So I'm not saying all temperament traits are bad. No, I'm just saying we are looking at the weaknesses that may come in the way, because your strength will not come in the way, but your weaknesses will actually come in the way. And we are looking at understanding our weaknesses and being able to reparent ourselves so that we can do better with our children. So like I was saying, the melancholic parents, you are likely going to be more critical. Yes, you are likely going to be more critical. So you may not end up raising children whose love languages are never met, whose love tanks are never filled, because you always nag your children, you always compare your children, because you have a standard, and you always have people who probably are meeting that standard. For example, let's look at academics. For example, you may expect your child to you have children in your child's class who are A children, A, and maybe they have extra lesson and they do a lot of things that you also do. So you are wondering, don't they have one head like you? Are they not exposed to the same factors you are exposed to? So because of that, if you are not intentional, if you don't empower yourself to know that, okay, maybe there's something extra I need to do, maybe I need to be patient with my child, maybe I need to calm down, you are going to end up raising children who will be broken because of your constant holding back of your love, because you are a conditional lover, holding back of your love because you are a conditional lover, because forgiveness is not readily one of your skills. Forgiveness is not readily one of the traits you are endowed with. So if you're a melancholic parent, you want to sit back and look at what I just shared and make sure that, hey, you are recreating your parenting style to align with your vision. You want to check my previous video on recreating your parenting style also. The sanguine. Oh, these are the goody mom, goody dads. They play with children, they create time for family because they are fun people. They love and they love to be loved. They are always gifting, they love to have fun and all of that. However, their major trait in parenting is that they are very indulging. They are emotionally unstable. So it's not easy for them to create routines and structures for their children. They are very allowing. So they may end up eventually raising children who are confused, children who will now grow into adulthood with a lot of repairs to be made, because the parents were not strong-willed enough to set it right. Because sanguines are people who are parents who just like to go with the flow. There are parents who struggle with discipline. Today they allow things, tomorrow they will not allow it, and all of that. They are not consistent. If they are not intentional, being consistent with discipline, being consistent with routine will be a problem, or may be a problem. And when it's a problem, the child grows up being confused, because the child will not have been defined to the child from early what to expect and what not to expect. So sanguine parent, it is very important you sit back and look at your parenting. If you're a sanguine parent, then you actually want to work on your weaknesses. You want to be more intentional. You want to create a structure, a routine. You want to define your vision. You want to look at your weaknesses that will come in the way of your vision, of your realizing your parenting vision. And you want to create a structure and be very intentional. I have a structure that you can use, a structure created. I have my family constitution or my family framework. You can easily adopt to and tweak a bit to suit your own family. You would definitely need it, the sanguine parents. So that is one thing about the sanguine parent. And they have unstable emotions, which means that one minute they can be so reactive over an issue, and another minute they can be so aligned. And one of the things about sanguine parent is that because they love to love, they actually want their children. They love people. They are the people's people. They are desperate for validation. They are desperate for people to love them. Because of that, they will always lower their standard to win their children's love. They always lower their standard to win their children's love. Now, this is where it is very important, again, that you set your standard, you create a structure. I always say to parents that before you say no to your child, make sure that no will be no 101 times. You just don't say no impulsively. Now, that's something with the sanguine parent. They are very impulsive. Now, because they are very impulsive, they can say no today, and tomorrow they are saying yes. And tomorrow, when they now say no again, maybe the child wants to try their luck. After all, you don't always say no, and that time, because they have emotion, they're not stable with emotion, that is the time they may flip, and it's all dramatic, and you are wondering, why are you so reactive? So the sanguine parent is not likely to model discipline to the child. They can live fake life if they are not intentional. They may not be able to teach financial intelligence to their children if they are not intentional. That's because they can leave priorities and chase after things that are not relevant. They can just be unnecessarily competitive. The kind of parent that want to put their children in maybe in luxury schools, get luxury items for their children just because they want to meet up with certain standards that nobody may have even set for them. They want to buy big or nice things for their children. They want to take trips all over the world, forgetting that the children actually have school fees and other pressing needs to pay. So you want to pause and re-examine your temperament and make sure your temperament is not jumping in the way. Your temperament is not making you make unreasonable choices. It's not making you create parenting pattern that may not result to your parenting vision at the end of the day. Now, the last temperament is the phlegmatic temperament. Maybe another time we'll talk about the temperament blends, but the last temperament we are talking about, looking at today, is the phlegmatic parent. Now, these are the peaceful parents. They don't have strength for drama. They don't have wahala. One of the things that characterize this parent is that they are likely going to be helicopter parents, always rescuing the children. They don't want to stress the child. They are peacemakers. They love peace. They love the child to be happy. They don't want the child to be stressed. So because of that, they are likely going to always jump in the way to rescue the child. They are going to take consequences away from the child, because as the child is going through the consequence of maybe their misbehavior, the parents feel they are feeling pained. So what is going to happen? They are going to look for an excuse, look for a way to bring down the consequence, and look for a way not to prevent the child from feeling pain. And I read a book one time that talked about pain of maturing. There's a pain that helps your child to mature. So if your child, it is important to let your child go through that pain of maturing, and that is what consequences actually brings to the child, the pain that allows the child to mature. But unfortunately, the phlegmatic parent, because of their peaceful nature, because of their calm nature, they always want to jump in the way, hover around the children, always making sure the children, they are not hurt, they are not wounded, they are doing the right thing, they are not pressured. At the end of the day, you are going to raise children who are not independent, children who will struggle with independence, who will struggle with self-esteem, who will struggle with self-confidence, who will struggle with taking initiative, and a lot more. Why? Because you are not allowing them the natural experiences that will help them grow these important life skills. So as a parent, what you want to do is to sit back and reflect on your parenting. Are you phlegmatic? If you're a pack mom, don't worry. You are going to get the temperament test sheets in the group where you can check your temperament. And after that, we are going to look at a lot of the things we can actually do to strengthen our temperament weaknesses. Remember, we've done emotions control class before already. So one of the things you actually want to do is to sit back and always reflect in the face of your decision and ask yourself, oh, what is my vision for my child? How is this choice I'm going to make? How is it in favor of my vision for my child? Now, one of the things about phlegmatic parents, again, is that self-esteem, they don't even, because they are peace-loving people, they have the tendency not to always stand up for themselves. And these they are modeling to their children. So even if they desire to raise assertive children at the end of the day, because they are not able to give a no, they're not able to stand up for themselves, they will end up modeling the opposite of what they desire to their children, because children learn by watching us. They watch us and they learn. So your child is watching you. You are not able to stand for yourself. Your child is watching you. You are allowing people to trample on you or over you. Your child is watching you. As the sanguine child, as a sanguine parent, you are you have emotional instability. You are reactive to minor issues. Your child is watching you. So at the end of the day, you realize that you are not going to raise children, self-confident children. You're not going to raise assertive children, because you are not modeling it. You allow a lot of things to slide. Where you should stand up, you are not standing up. Where you should speak up, you are not speaking up. So at the end of the day, you raise children who will not be assertive. You raise children who will not be able to stand up for themselves, whether in society, whether in your marriage, whether in your business or anything. You end up raising, especially if those children, your child also is a phlegmatic like you. Now remember, your child already has your phlegmatic weaknesses. If your child is a phlegmatic, then you are further modeling these weaknesses to your child. Then it's going to be double wahala, like they say, double wahala for the body. So you want to sit back and check out your temperament. Am I phlegmatic? Yes, I am. Nah, I don't want to model these things to my child. Now, before I wrap up, I'd like to say that your temperament shouldn't really define you, your parenting choices, style, or pattern. You have a choice. You start by creating your parenting vision. What is your parenting vision? We have a material on parenting vision. You actually want to look at it. It comes with an audio, or rather a video and an ebook. You want to look at your parenting vision. You want to start by creating your parenting vision. If you're a pack mom, you definitely have it. If you don't have it, you can come back to the group and ask for it. That's fine. If you're not a pack mom, you want to have it, then you can ask for it. And I think I can give you for 1,000 naira or thereabout. You want to have it. You want to sit down and create your parenting vision, and then ask yourself, this is my parenting vision. For example, let me just give you a bit of what is in the parenting vision. You want to create your long-term parenting vision and your short-term parenting vision. For the short-term parenting vision, you want to say, okay, my child is 3, and his other major milestone should be when he's entering primary school, which is age 5 or age 6. What do I expect? What challenges is he going to face then? These are the challenges he's going to face. These are the opportunities and everything he's going to face. This is what life holds for a typical 5-6 years old child. So how do I want him to respond, or what is the proper way he should respond in the face of these events? Bearing in mind that I am raising a global leader, bearing in mind the type of child I'm raising, how is he supposed to react? What skills is he supposed to start possessing? So you ask yourself that. Now, as a parent, do I have the skills in me? Why don't I have it? Is it my temperament that is coming in the way, or the way I was raised? So you want to sit down and reflect on it. You start by creating your parenting vision. After creating your parenting vision, so you want to identify factors that will come in the way, factors that will actually help you achieve your parenting vision, and you want to take action. I always tell them in Path Community that it is not about learning. Knowledge is not power until applied. So applied knowledge is power. So you actually want to learn and you want to apply it so that you can realize your vision at the end of the day, so that you can be powerful, you can raise your global leaders, which is your dream. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you learned a great deal. I hope you are going to go back and look at your temperament, and I hope that you are going to join us in Pack Community so that we can all learn and grow together. And then you are going to go back and learn more about your temperament and actually begin to work on yourself, because it is important that we all raise children who will actually make the world a better place. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Enimie Orebo, and if you are new, don't forget to subscribe. If you watched it to this extent, it simply means you were getting value. So you want to subscribe. You want to leave your comments or your questions in the comment section. You want to turn on the notification to always get my video, to be the first to get my video. And you want to tell other parents about Parenting with Enimie Orebo, an amazing community you want to be. Thank you so much for joining me today. Bye.